So good morning, welcome back to the channel. I'm here to attempt to change the front brake pads. It recently had an MOT, just a weekend just gone, and the guy who did the MOT, the mechanic, said that they were quite low. So I'm going to replace the brake pads to the same as I've got on the rear. These, I don't know if you can see that, I'll show you, I'll leave a link in the description. These are the EBC brakes, double H sintered brakes, same as what are on the rear. Yesterday I did the left side, had a few issues, namely one with the grub screw. I'll show you that in a minute. It was just seized in, and no matter what I tried, I couldn't get it out using a normal screwdriver. So, but thankfully this one came out nice. Oh, I've just loosened it off. It loosened up quite easily. I thought I might have had the same issue. So this is the grub screw that I loosened off earlier. I've slightly damaged it, but and I will replace it. They're not that expensive. Anyway, I'll keep it nice and safe for now. So the other one is damaged, and I'm going to have to replace that one. So once that's removed, what I want to do is just release the retaining pin. You need a 5mm Allen key just to do that. It might be a bit stiff going in there. That's it. So I don't want to take it right out because I don't want anything else to fall out there. It should be okay. Let's have a quick look. So I'm just going to get it out a little bit, loosen it off. There we are. So the next job, I'll leave it there for a second, is to remove these two bolts. These caliper bolts. They are 12mm. They are. So I'm just going to loosen them off. Actually, I'm going to take them off. Let's get this around the right way. That's it. That's it. Okay. There we go. A bit stiff, but there we are. Okay. So, a finger loose now. Just gonna take these off by finger, by hand. Keep them nice and safe so I don't lose them. Okay, that's done. I think what I'm going to do is, once I've taken this off, I need, let's just pull this off so it come off quite nicely. Just give it a quick wiggle. Just release that up the top there. Give me a bit of play there. There we are. So there we have it. So first thing first, what I'm going to do is just remove this, not remove it, but just loosen off this arm here and take the retaining pin out. So I've just removed the retaining pin. I'm going to keep that nice and safe as well. I'm also going to give that a good old clean up and lubricate it with this copper grease. Okay, that's quite important to keep. So let's see what damage it's done on these brakes since they've been in there. Yeah, there's about 1 millimetre left on there. You're not going to be able to see that probably on the Ace Pro. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, you can still see the lines on there. So a little bit of life in them yet, but I won't leave it any longer than that. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, again, same thing, right down to it. Yeah, about time they were changed anyway. Okay, so next thing I want to do with this, I won't necessarily show you this, but I'm going to clean these up, give them a good clean and a good polish, and yeah, I'll be back. This will take me a while to do. There's a little pin here, just there. You can see that there, little plate. That's where the brake pads slide along, and I will clean that like it's brand new. I will show you afterwards, and I will lubricate that as well. Okay, that's very important to keep, and remember which way it goes in. And on the other side, I took a photograph of it so I wouldn't forget which way it went in. You see, it's a good idea. It's just a little tip, that's all. So as I can see, the pistons here are just filthy. They're supposed to be like a copper colour. They are. And look at them, absolutely disgusting. So anyway, I'll get to it. I'll clean it up, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm at the stage where all the caliper is nice and clean. I've cleaned up the pistons. I've cleaned up the, as best I can, this little swing arm that goes actually on the actual calipers to hold the brake pads in place. So before I push these pistons back in, I'm going to apply this red rubber grease on there, and that will lubricate it and make it slide easier. My guess is that this has never been used on these calipers before, so like I say, it's always good to sort of keep it all lubricated and all nice and loose. Just stop any friction. Just makes life easier as well in the future if ever you have to take these off again, which you probably will do. So I'm just going to apply these liberally. There we go. And I'm going to wipe off the excess in a minute. Get as much as I can in there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to gently, without damaging or scoring the pistons, push these back. Now if you're having problems, do one at a time. If you're having problems, they are quite tough. There we go, one's going in. If you're having problems, I would suggest gently taking off the cap to the brake fluid, making sure that it doesn't drip on your tank, because otherwise that's another job for you to do. So just gently going to push this back. It's a bit tough because they've never. Let's have a look. Right, they're going to go in. You'll have to excuse me for a minute. Right, that's number one. And number two, done. Okay, so again, here's the little shim that I cleaned up earlier. It's come up really nice, like brand new. I don't know if you can see that right there. And I'm gonna have to remember how to place that back in. And I'll put some copper grease on that, just to keep it nice. And let's have a look. Let's just make sure it's all going in all right. Now let's get it around the right way. Okay. And this is where, as I said earlier, a little tip is to take a photograph. There we go. So it's in now. So I'm just going to put some copper grease on it, and that will allow the retaining pin to slide along there with the brake pads in. Before I go any further, I want to put this on. So I need some copper grease. Here we are. Bit of copper grease on the end here. Perfect. Lovely. And I'll smear a little bit on that sliding arm there. The pin can go in. This will go in lovely now. It looks so good when it's all. I mean, the thing is, you put all this work and effort into all this, you're not going to see it, but you know it's there in your mind. You know you've done a good job on it for next time. It's all good. Right, there we are. Okay. Let's wipe that off, the excess. Okay. Let's put this little arm, goes on there first, and I'll screw this in. There we go. Alright, so line that up first. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to put the brake pads on. As I say, these are the EBC sintered brakes. Just going to put them in place now. Just to use this one first. This is the back one. Making sure I've pushed all the pistons as far as they will go in. We'll line these up. It takes a little bit of fiddling around, these do, so let's just make sure they go right back in. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, that's it. Right. And then get the other one. Don't worry about the gap in the middle. We'll sort that out in a minute once we've got the retaining pin in. It is a little bit fiddly, but once it's in, that's it. Job done. All right. Okay, so they're in place. So as I say, I've lubricated the retaining pin here. I'm going to use the 5mm Allen key just to push it in a bit more. It's really quite fiddly, this. There we go. But before I go right in, I'm going to put some Loctite thread locker. Okay. On that, like I do with all my nuts and bolts, just so it doesn't come adrift, okay? And yeah, gives you a bit of peace of mind as well. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten this up. I put the Loctite thread locker on it. I'll put the link in the description as usual if you want to look at these things and see where you can buy these things from. Loctite 243 it is. So I'm going to go right in there, you see that? I'm going to wipe the excess off. That's it. That's it. And don't forget, you need to put the cap back on now. just to stop any dust and dirt getting in. Now these are ready to put on. Now I made a little gap there, so I'm just going to slide these along. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is make sure there's a little gap there, so I can just slide the disc brake in and then move it up slightly there. Okay, we're nearly there now. Alright, that's safely back on now. Where are they? Right, okay, I've got these bolts here. I haven't yet put any Loctite thread locker on there yet, so I'm just going to do one at a time. But to hold that in place, right, that's finger tight so far. Let me take the other one out. That's it. Okay. Okay. Let's get in there now. So I'm just going to tighten these up. Let's get the rest of this excess in my hands. Just go the right way. Now these have to be up to about, I think it's 12 Newton meters, 21 Newton meters, that's right. So I'll just put these on for now and go and get my torque wrench and I'll put them on properly. As I say, 21 Newton meters. Now this little grub screw that I'm going to put on lastly, I'm just going to put it on hand tight. It doesn't have to be really tight because I don't want the same problems I had last time. Well, I won't get that because I've already lubricated it anyway, so I will not have that problem. So I'm just going to put these on for now. I'll go and get my torque wrench and I'll tighten them up to 21 Newton meters of force. So before I do anything else and take it off its stand, and before we hit the road on this, you need to pump the brake lever a good few times just to get a bit of resistance there. Alright, just to move the pistons in. Alright, so get a bit of retention. Okay, so we're nearly finished putting the brakes on, the front brakes. So it's really important to bed, as with anything, to bed the brakes in just so that there won't be any problems out on the road. So what I'm going to do is tighten everything up and just go up and down the road just to see if they're okay. And also don't forget to tighten if you have removed or loosened off the reservoir cap, just to make sure that's tightened on the back again, because you don't want any of that fluid coming out onto your tank or anywhere else. Also, if you wouldn't mind, just subscribing to the channel. It helps me out quite a lot. I only do this because I like doing it as a hobby. And as you know, I'm not a mechanic. I fitted the rear brakes, I fitted the rear pistons, I fitted the exhausts on this, and now I fit the front brakes. So, you know, I think if I can do it, anybody can do it. So anyway, stay safe out there. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And also, if you feel like it, make a comment if you feel that I've missed something or you can correct me. Anyway, take care.